Hi everyone, my name is Stix and welcome to our daily LeetCode question, validate stack sequences. So we are giving two arrays, push and pop, each with distinct values, and we want to return true if we can arrange sequence order of push and pop operations, such as we can transform our pushed array into a popped array. This is basically a small translation of the question. And let's just say for an example, we are getting example 1. And what we want to do is we want to transform our push array into a pop array using push and pop operations. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to have a temporary stack, and we're going to start pushing elements into it. So we are pushing 1, and we are pushing 2, and we are pushing 3. And note that all of the elements we push at the moment doesn't equal to our first element in our pop index. So once we are getting to our fourth index, okay, which is a third index, since we are starting from 0, and we are pushing 4, we're gonna see that 4 is matching to our first element in pop index, in pop array. So what we want to do is we want to pop this element, and then we see our next match is 5. Since we don't have 5 in our stacks, we're gonna push the next element, which is our last element in push array. And then we see that this element is equal, so we can pop this one out, and we already encountered these two. And then we're gonna see we have 3 match, and then the second, and then 2 is matching, and 1 is matching, and basically we were able to transform our array from the push array into the pop array. So in this case, if we are getting both of these arrays, we can return true. So once we do that, we can say that we can transform from push into pop, and therefore our answer is going to be true. If we cannot perform these sequences of push and pop operations, we're going to say that this is not impossible, and we're going to get a false. For an example, the way we can get a false is by example 2. We can see over there that we got our elements in the same order as the first one in the push array, but in our pop array we can see that we have 1 that is being before 2, and we cannot pop 1 before 2 since we are gonna push them. So basically this is a little bit of extra knowledge in how stack is working. Stack is working and last in, first out. And what we essentially want to do is we're gonna iterate through it, so let's get into coding. So the first thing we're going to do is we're gonna first of all need to know what is the length of each array. Since we want to transform pushed array to popped array, they must be on the same size. And we want our temporary stack, and we're obviously going to use Java class in order to create it. And we want some index that we can follow how many elements we already seen in the popped array. Okay, and then we're going to use an enhanced loop, and we're going to go through each element in pushed array. So the first thing we want to do is we obviously want to push our elements into our temporary stack. So we're going to push num inside. The second thing we want to do is we want to check whether we are encountering a new element that is appearing in popped array. So we want to make sure first of all that the stack is not empty, because if it's empty we got nothing to pop. And we want to make sure that our pop index is not out of the lines of our array indexes, so basically size n. And this is also going to help us to determine whether or not the arrays is equal. So if the arrays is equal, this is not going to be a problem, but if there is a difference in the sizes of the arrays, we're going to encounter them in our return element. So and then third argument we want to check is we want to see that our current element in the stack. So the top element in our stack, so we're going to use stack peak, is equal to our element in the array, in the popped array. So that's why we're going to use pop index in order to keep track on where we are at the pop array. So if all of those terms is happening, is true. Okay, so the stack is not empty and the pop index is still lower than size, and the element in our top of the stack is equal to the element we are currently looking for in the popped index. What we're going to do is we're gonna first of all pop it, because we no longer need it, and since we know all of the values are distinct, we're not gonna encounter in the same element twice. And what we want to do next is we want to increment our pop index, since we are looking for the next element in the array. Once we've done that, we can keep looking for the next element that is matching. And if it's not matching, we're gonna finish the while loop, finish the for loop, and push the next number and see if this is gonna work, and so on and so on and so on, until we're gonna end up pushing all of our numbers from the pushed array. Now we need to determine whether or not we can accomplish this sequence of pop and push operations in order to create the popped stacks from the push stacks. So what we essentially want to check is whether or not the pop index is equal to our array size, pushed array size. And if it's true, it means that we went through all of the elements and we were able to recreate the sequence. And if it's different, it means that we got stuck somewhere in the middle, or maybe even surpassed it in some cases. So once we click submit, we can see that our solution was great, beats 85% of the submissions. And if you got any more questions about stacks or want me to solve another questions, please let me know in the comments. Have a great day.